Did you know the Snow White story you grew up with is actually the cleaned up, family-friendly version? The original tale is way darker and, honestly, much more fascinating. Let us peel back the curtain and dive into the hidden story of Snow White that you probably do and know. So forget the sweet, innocent princess from the animated classic. In the very first version of the story collected by the Brothers Grimm back in 1812, the villain wasn't Snow White's stepmother. It was her own biological mother. Can you believe it? The queen was jealous of her own daughter's beauty. This paints a much more disturbing family dynamic, right? It was only in later editions that the Grimms changed her to a stepmother to make the story a bit more palatable for audiences. And what about the huntsman? In the version we know, he takes pity on Snow White and lets her go. In the original, the queen demands he bring back not just Snow White's heart, but also her liver and lungs. And what for? So she could cook and eat them. She believed that by consuming her daughter's organs, she could absorb her youth and beauty. It's incredibly gruesome and adds a layer of cannibalistic horror to the character we thought we knew. Now, let's talk about the seven dwarfs. In some early versions, they weren't even named. They were just seven miners, and their relationship with Snow White was more like a business arrangement. She cooked and cleaned for them, and in return, they gave her shelter. It was a practical setup for survival, not the jolly, singing household we see in the movies. The queen's attempts to get rid of Snow White were also far more brutal and persistent. The famous poison apple was actually her third try. First, she came disguised as an old peddler and sold Snow White a stay lace for her bodice. She pulled it so tight that Snow White couldn't breathe and collapsed. The dwarfs came home just in time to cut the lace and save her. The second time, the queen returned with a poisoned comb. When Snow White put it in her hair, the poison knocked her out cold. Again, the dwarfs found her and removed the comb. The poison apple was the final, desperate attempt. And here's another big twist. Snow White didn't wake up from a true love-esque kiss. In the original Grimm's tale, the prince is captivated by her beauty in the glass coffin and convinces the dwarfs to let him take her back to his castle. As his servants carry the coffin, one of them stumbles. The jolt dislodges the piece of poisoned apple stuck in Snow White's throat, and she coughs it up and wakes up. It was pure chance, not a magical kiss, but the story doesn't end there. The wedding is where the final, chilling piece of justice is served. Snow White and the prince invite the evil queen to their wedding. As a special honor, they force her to put on a pair of iron slippers that had been heated red hot in a fire. She is then forced to dance in these burning shoes until she drops dead, a truly grim ending for a grim character. So the next time you watch the classic Snow White, remember the darker, more complex story hidden beneath its surface. It's a tale of maternal jealousy, cannibalistic desires, and brutal revenge. Which version do you find more compelling? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden stories behind your favorite fairy tales.